Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kendall and this is Ken's Corner. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. In today's video, we're going to do definitely a fun one, I think. So we're going to do my friends choose my reads. I reached out to 3 of my friends who also read and asked them I sent them a picture of my bookshelves where I have a bunch of my unread books, and I said, pick one. And they did, and I'm honestly very excited for it because they picked some good ones. The first book that I'm going to read that got chosen is from my best friend Mel, who chose for me to continue this series because she knows how bad I am at continuing series. So we've got Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. This is the second book in the Legacy of Orisha series, and it is following Zélie, Amari, and Zane after the events of the first book, obviously. I'm not going to go too much into detail. I don't want to spoil anything in the first book, basically. But in the first book, the king had wiped out all of magic, and there was just a very big class and power struggle between those who should have had magic and those who wiped out magic, basically. It just goes from there because it was so much fun, it was so good, but it was your typical power struggle fantasy where the person who should have had magical powers but doesn't goes to try to free magic, you know? And that honestly kind of negates how good the story is. I'm very excited to continue with the series. I have actually already started it. I am about 60 pages in, which is chapter 14. These chapters are tiny, which makes it even more fun because it's just so quick. It's just one more chapter, one more chapter, one more chapter. And I've already been doing that this morning. I started this less than an hour ago and I'm on page 62. The only reason I stopped is because I had to get up and get ready for work. I really do enjoy these characters. They're not all good, but yeah, I'm very excited for all 3 of these reads, and I'm very thankful for my friends being willing to participate with me. I'm going to get to work now, and then I will continue reading, and I will check in either tomorrow or either tonight or tomorrow. I am a little less than halfway through Children of Virtue and Vengeance. Honestly, I'm having so much fun with this book. It very much is giving what I was hoping for. The only thing that it is reading very YA. I think even more so than Children of Blood and Bone. This one's reading more YA because of the decisions of the main characters. It's almost like purposeful miscommunication, but not miscommunication. I don't know how to explain that without trying to give too much, without accidentally giving too much away, so I'm not going to. But some of the decisions that are being made are just making me go, you can tell your frontal lobe is not developed. Am I having so much fun with this? Yes, because YA fantasy is still for me at the ripe age of in my 30s. So I do have to make sure that I'm like remembering like this is meant for a younger audience. This is not meant for someone my age, and just having to remind myself of that, like it's going to hit differently because it's YA. But it's just so much fun to read. It's just so digestible. Like in its nature, it's just a very digestible read, basically. I'm gonna crack on with this one and then we will pick up our next read. Hopefully I can finish this tomorrow. I'm sure I can. I'm off tomorrow, so I have plenty of time to finish it. About 200 pages left. Very curious to see what those 200 pages hold, because what those first 175 pages have held, well, it wasn't boring, I'll tell you what. We definitely continued exactly where this one left off. I have officially finished Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This was so good. It was so much fun. Do I think that this series is the best series out there? Yes and no. No, because like I can acknowledge some of the issues I've had. It's not been 5-star reads for me, but this is a solid 4-star and a 4-star series. Very much your quintessential YA fantasy, basically. It's very much a YA fantasy in the best way possible. I'm very much gonna have to have a copy of Virtue and Vengeance and Anguish and Anarchy for my shelves to go along with Children of Blood and Bone. I think I did say it, I'm going to settle on a 4-star. When it comes to this book, thank you Melanie for getting me to read this book and continuing a series. So the next book I'm going to start was picked by my lovely friend Virginia. So as you can see on the screen, she had some bit of decision paralysis for me, but she ended up choosing Iron Widow. I do think this is going to be a lot of fun. I have seen a lot of people truly enjoy this book, and I'm hoping I'm one of them. Like its ferocious heroine, Iron Widow is brutal, bloodthirsty, and full of rage. Actually, I'm not even going to read the synopsis. So I have Iron Widow by, I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to honestly try, so if you can tell me in the comments below how to actually say her name, I would really appreciate that. But Zhuangzi Zhao, pretty sure I just butchered that, and I'm so sorry if I did. It's a Chinese mythology based book. I'm very curious to see what their writing is like, what the story is like. I'm very excited. Also, I just want to say the art in this book, it gives Pokemon, but it has been a few days, but I finally started it today and I'm on page 91. I wasn't entirely sure what it was, I'll be honest with you. You had an alien invasion in this world and that's who they're fighting, and then just female rage. And that's honestly what I'm still getting. It's been very, interesting because it's very different from what I normally read. The audiobook from the library is honestly clutch because I don't know what I would do for a lot of these pronunciations. So that's really cool to see too. So far, 100 pages in, I am enjoying this. Okay, so first off, I'm not as far into this book as I would want to be because this is now 2 days later and I'm 192 pages into this book. But I want to talk about it real quick. It's so cool to me to hear them referencing the Great Wall because that's just such a monumental monument, honestly, let's be real. But to hear it used in such a way so similar to what it was built for, which is honestly the point, I would assume, to include the aliens, and I keep picturing Pokemon, but like metal and not sentient themselves. That's literally what I'm picturing the whole time, and that might not be right, but that is what I'm picturing. Our main character, she's gotten herself in a little pickle. She's gotten herself in a little predicament. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. There's something about her feminine rage and her absolute resolve to not be cowed to the patriarchy, basically. Her absolute lack of, you can kill me, but I'm not conforming. It's not happening. You're not taking my power. You can take my life, you're not taking my power. And I don't even mean like power like powers, but like her voice, her power, her person. That's what I mean. I really want to finish it soon. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I'm also in the middle of another book that I'm just reading for. First off, it's been several days. Second off, I'm so sorry for the terrible angle. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. But I want to update on Iron Widow. I'm not sure how I feel about this book, honestly. There are some parts that I absolutely loved, and there are some parts that I didn't. A lot of this book, I can really see the female rage, and I think I last spoke about how I was enjoying the look at the female rage, but that's like all it was. So you have Zacian. I mean, obviously she's fighting for her life, first off, so understandable. But I feel like this just feels very stereotypy. Before I say this, there was like the singular woman empress in Chinese history named Wu Zetian who was known for being ruthless. I feel like that's kind of where this is coming from. I could be wrong, but with her name being Zetian, like, in a lot of ways, I just feel like she was almost overly vicious. It's just to say, I don't know if I like the way that Zetian is portrayed, nor do I like the way all the men were terrible, were sorry in some kind of way, except the two guys that she was in love with. I mean, first off, what are the odds? Second, like, honestly, can we take a minute and remember that when it comes to like feminism and stuff like that, it's about equality overall. I loved the idea of the female rage. I just don't know if I like the execution in here. It was a fun read. It was a fairly fast-paced read. It was an interesting read. I don't want to take that away. I don't know. Maybe she really did need to be that vicious to be able to get anywhere. Yes, as a woman, sometimes you have to get down and dirty. You have to be known as a bitch. Like, I have said it at work to one of my male coworkers where I'm like, you get praised for this, I get called a bitch for it. So, like, I know it's needed, but also sometimes, like, it can go too far and give a negative connotation to the female power that we're trying to embolden. The next book we're going to pick up was picked by my friend Sarah, who, she's not the biggest reader, so I fully just gave her 3 options, and she picked me Anathema by Carrie Lake. I'm so excited to get into this book. It's a honker. and I'm very busy with work right now, but I'm hoping to get a good chunk into this over the next few days. I have been looking forward to reading this book. This is the push that I need to finally get it started. Basically, in Anathema, we're following Mavis, who, to my understanding, basically she lives in a forest on the edge of the Eating Woods. The last line of the synopsis says, and his growing obsession with her threatens to destroy everything, including himself. Yeah, I love a good dark fantasy in the colder months. Before I talk about the book that is the main reason of this update, I'm actually adding a second book to the reason for this update. So I have officially received my first ARC. Not only is it by Alexandria Bellafleur, who's a queer author, it's a queer book. Playing for Keeps, it comes out in January. And it is basically massive football star publicists and massive pop stars publicist. It's the publicists whose story you're watching, but you also get cash and lyrics through their publicists. The main characters are Rosaline and Poppy. You're following Poppy's point of view, and Rosaline is someone who she highly respects in the publicist industry, someone who has a fearsome reputation. So she's also just nervous about that because of just the way Rosaline carries and conducts herself and conducts her business. It's adorable. There are way too many references. Instead of text, you're getting a lot of tweets, and it even says on X, formerly known as Twitter, you get a certain drink from Dutch Bros. They talk about going into an Erewhon. If you're someone who fully believes that references date a book, or you get annoyed by that, or whatever when it comes to current pop culture references, you might be annoyed by that in this. I'm not annoyed by it, but it is something I noticed because I've started highlighting all of them. Overall, I'm having fun with the writing, I'm having fun with the story, and I can't wait to continue it. I'm hoping to finish it throughout today. Not a French choice, but I have to put it somewhere because I'm so excited. And then for the French choice, I'm also listening to the audiobook. So far, I'm just over 100 pages in. Still got a chunk of the way to go, but so far I've been following Maven and Zavander. You find out what's happened with Zavander and you're seeing what he's currently up to, and then you're following Mavis, who she does not get the cruelty of what's going on in the world, but she also is starting to fear that maybe she's going a little crazy due to the Eating Woods. She feels like she's seeing things that other people aren't seeing, she's hearing things that other people aren't hearing. She's going through it in these first 100 pages, and we're not even in the woods yet. I still have a lot to read. I am highly enjoying it so far. As far as the reading for this video specifically, when it comes to Anathema, I'm struggling to have time to sit and read like I want. I really want to just dive into this book. I'm hoping to in the next couple days. When it comes to Anathema, I am 200 pages in. Literally, this is page 200 and the page I'm on. I'm curious to see how I continue to feel about it because it is moving slow, but I was prepared for that. I was under the impression it was not a fast-moving read, but I have completed Playing for Keeps by Alexandria Bellafleur. I really did enjoy Rosaline and Poppy's story. I wasn't sure how they were going to play it, because these two are their lives are very intrinsically involved, very much almost a dependent relationship between the client and the publicist. So I was very curious to see how that was going to play out, but I have fun with it. I was a little curious what the third act conflict was going to be, like what it ended up being. I honestly did not see coming, and it was kind of an interesting take on a real issue that could be faced especially by a lot of famous people. I still, throughout the whole book, these pop culture references that I don't have an issue with, but I could see some people saying it dates the book. I also think that adds like a quirky dynamic to the book, and anything that I read that's older that has those kind of references I think is kind of cool, because I know it's a product of its time. Just like when I read YA, I know it's a product of its demographic. You know, the one thing about the relationship between Poppy and Rosaline is I do feel like it needed a little bit more fleshing out. I feel like that with a lot of romances nowadays. I feel like there's not enough yearning. We go from this to this, and it's just like, but where's the yearning? Ultimately, it had what I need in a romance, if only there was just a little bit more tension. So yesterday, I was having a very bad day. No good, very bad day, if you will. So I went book shopping. I told myself that I was only gonna get 2 books, but then out of the 5 that I've been wanting to buy, I found 3 of them, so I got them. First off, I'm very excited about this. I know I can read this on Kindle Unlimited, so I should have just done that, but I have very high hopes for this book, and I love to have a physical romance read. And then I got The Second Death of Locke. Honestly, I don't know much about this other than the fact that it's a quest, it's a fantasy, it's a knighthood. I'm excited about this one. I really am hoping to read it soon. And then we have Leave Me Behind, and I told myself that I wasn't going to get it. I was just going to read it on Kindle, but then I actually picked it up. And oh my god, it's the perfect texture book. Like, if every book felt like this, I would be happy. I don't even know a whole lot about this other than it's a military romance, and they are basically in special forces and initially in opposite whatevers, and they end up on the same whatever, and I don't know all the jargon, so I'm not even gonna try to pretend. I don't want to read the synopsis because I do want to go in blind because I do, honestly. I am back with another update. It's definitely gonna be my last one before I finish this, because I have less than 150 pages left, which makes me so happy. Like, I only have this little bit left, and I am eating this up. It is so good. So last I had spoken, I've read about 200 pages since then, I think, and it's only gotten better. I do know that this isn't giving 5 stars because the first bit before she went into the woods wasn't my favorite. It was not bad, but it wasn't my favorite. But now that they're together with 150 pages left to go, I'm really enjoying it. I will be finishing this tonight. I've been chomping at the bit to get a hold of this and just be able to sit and devour it. So that is what I'm going to do tonight. So I have officially finished Anathema, and oh my goodness. While I do have a couple things that kept it from being a 5-star read for me, overall this is a 4-star read, and it was so good. I highly recommend it. To start off, when you meet Mavis, she is in this like culty town, like think Burn the Witch's Salem. And something happens to cause her to have to run into the Eating Woods. She ends up finding a whole new world, but then all these different people are hunting her. My issue with this book, it's so slow. To start with, the first like 200 pages, I feel like could have been shortened. I don't think we needed as much in the culty town to have gotten the benefit. But then by the time she crosses over into the whole new world and she ends up with the other main character and the people surrounding him. Also, can I just say I love Rakaya. I love her so much. so much. My favorite character out of this whole book. If I had to give a description for this book, I'm finding my Goodreads. If you love gothic, witchy, fantasy, horror, spooky, eerie, grotesque creatures, this is the book for you. The fact that it's a little slow in the beginning, do not let that dissuade you. It is a good book. Like I said, it's a 4-star read for me. Now, I will say, this book, I was under the impression that this was a romantasy. It is not. It is a fantasy with a romance subplot. You're like halfway through the book before the romance even starts, and it's a slow burn. Now, am I still rooting for Mavis and Zavander? Yes. I highly enjoyed these characters. I'm very curious to see what happens in the next book, because while it started off slow, it ended, so much happened at one time, or seemingly at one time, that there was just something. Very excited for the next book. Highly do recommend this book. With that, that is the end of the video. Real quick to go over the books I've read. So to start with, I read Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, and I gave this a 4-star. Also, thank you, Melanie, for making me continue a series pretty quickly. Then I had Virginia's Pick, which was Iron Widow by Xiranjay Zhao. This was okay. I gave it a 3-star. And then we had Anathema. I gave this bad boy a 4-star. That is the end of this video. If you have read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought. Like, I think this one is probably going to be where I could see the most back and forth, if you will. Like, I would love to know anybody else's thoughts on this book, whether you agree with me about the feminine rage or you think it's a perfect portrayal. I just want to know other people's opinions now that I've read it. Please be kind to everyone involved. I say I want to know about Iron Widow, but if you've read any of these books, let's talk about it. That is all from me for this vlog. Thank you, Melanie, Virginia, and Sarah, for participating in this with me. Y'all have a wonderful morning, evening, or night whenever you're watching this video. Have a great day on purpose. Be kind to everyone, and happy reading. Bye, guys.